So, yeah, we do need popularity, so it turns out. Yeah. This here, I'm hoping that if we play a bajillion gigs and an arbitrary moment in the story, the popularity will just swing up all of a sudden. That's the dream, so... I guess we just sort of, like, constantly play gigs. These are the stats, by the way. You can't see Dallas at the moment. There you go. That's quick enough. So we basically just need a lot of stats and a lot of gigs, okay? So, I guess we'll just cut to when I'm ahead and when something else important happens. There was a scene straight after the first gig we played. That's some good luck, isn't it? There was a storm brewing outside when we started the show. And now I knew that it was full force and dangerous because our song stopped unexpectedly. Are they booing or cheering? I think it's like bewilderment. The power went out. The lights went dead and the instruments cut off. Only the glow of cell phones and neon bracelets lit up in the concert space. Neon bracelets? Are we really attracting that many people? Go us, I guess. Whoa, hello, test! Everything was out. I panicked for a second, thinking about what the crowd would do if I were in that audience. I wouldn't put up this crap, why should I? Because other people aren't as dicks as you, is a nice way to put it. Security arrived next to us with flashlights telling us to get off and wait backstage. Oh man, this is scary wicked! Emmett, what a silly sausage. Don't wet yourself, the lights may come on soon. Who's touching me? Is that you, Emmett? Are you touching me? Oh, I thought you were Robbie. Is the gig over? What's the plan? I could hear the booing of the crowd perfectly from where we were. We're going to give it 10 minutes, and if the power isn't fixed, we'll get you out of here to be safe. Safe? From the rioting mob that would kill us if we didn't finish the show we promised them. We'll just invite them give them like free tickets to the next one or something, right? 10 minutes, 10 hours, it's all the same to those guys out there. Just 10 minutes, sir, and I'll personally break the news. I saw his hand reach for a megaphone. That's what I wanted. I grabbed the megaphone before the stage manager could even pat it for reference. Oh, Jesus Christ. I stormed the stage, which I could see a lot better after adjusting to the dark. The audience reacted immediately, meaning they could see me too. Wait, what are you doing? I looked back to see Emmett had followed me. I nodded towards his drum kit. Get back to work, you slacker. He laughed and ran back to his position. I clicked on the speaker and the feedback caused a roar of applause. Are we gonna sing with a megaphone? I thought we were gonna do a speech, but this might be worse. Now, where were we? Emmett kicked up the beat of a song that got off, and in my mind it was like we had never stopped. I started to sing the lyrics through the beat-up cheapo megaphone, and it took only a few words into it before the audience started to sing along. It's not a wildly complicated beat, but I guess we don't have a guitarist at the moment. The swaying wave of cell phones and lighters was moving enough to make me want to cry. Hearing my crackling digitized voice get drowned out by the thundering off-key mass was better than anything the song would have been with power. And almost as soon as I thought it, the stage lights snapped back on and the building hummed with life again. Victory coursed through the crowd. There's plenty of celebratory cursing as Dallas and Bew mounted the stage again. The chickens. I threw Emmett his deserved devil horns of pure rock for joining me. I presume you mean that. I slammed the megaphone down to the ground in the passion of the moment and ran up to give the cool fuckers in the front row their just high fives. The show after that was the best gig we ever had. There was so much electricity in the air and I could feel the pulse of the music and the crowd unlike any before it. It was like we made sweet, dirty love to the audience that night. No, Robin, we're trying to stop that. No more sleeping with randoms. Does that mean our popularity goes up? This is like a terrifying abandoned hospital. I felt like my body was ready to explode from the fever of the show. I didn't think anything could wipe the smile off my face. That is until I saw him again. Whoa, shit, security! This is because we played Dreamcatcher again, isn't it? Oh, shit. I think I may have forgotten to take it off the menu. Oops. Oh. A familiar asshole made himself present while I was cooling off next to an open window, startling me to half to death. You still played my song. He was killing the buzz. It was dying. I could feel it dying. I told you, it's not your damn song. Some of the building's guards ran to the corner. Seth braced a hand on the wall. Wait. They were on him and easily pulled him back. His face didn't look hostile like it did in the subway station that other day. Wait! Security stopped at once. Oops, hang on. We accidentally have a stream up in the background. Just pretend you never heard that. What were you going to say? He regained his balance and gave sidelong looks to the guys holding him. If he said nothing, then they could throw him out with the trash. I didn't care. You have to let me show you how to play it or don't play it at all. I stared at him with my mouth open. I could feel the pit of my stomach. The one that had been there since we used his music started to dissolve. Is this because... I don't know, I guess this is okay? I wiped some sweat from the side of my face. Let him go, never mind. The guards slowly let him loose and excuse themselves. I watched them leave and looked down the hall for anyone else. The coast was clear as I dived in closer to him to half whisper, half spit my warning. Look here, Danny Uncanny. You say one word about Dreamcatcher being yours and I'll personally see that you'll shit your own eyeballs. This seems like a good way to get, like, blackmail put on us when we get bigger. He looked away, disgusted, but you could never know, and I had to make that clear. I couldn't write a single note anymore because of this druggie, and the thought of him condoning Dreamcatcher made me feel better than I had in weeks. Whatever helps, I guess. So what the hell's wrong with it? He rolled eyes back towards me like I was an idiot. Everything. I pointed my finger at him and bit my tongue at the same time. It would be so easy to get him thrown out of here. You got to say everything, you have to tell me what? He stared down at me like it was too sexy for me. We're the one who have the songs wrong. Is it the tempo? Nothing. The notes off, the lyrics suck? What? I told you all of it. So what? Are you going to write the other instrumentals, lyrics too? I have to. You're doing it wrong. Yeah, go suck one, will you? In the dim lighting of the hallway, it's not too dim, I was able to see him flash his powerful eyes at me. I pressed my lips together, remembering how intimate our relationship has already been. Even if I couldn't remember, I still woke up naked next to him and he wasn't wearing much clothes either. I wonder if... What was I thinking? So what if I slept with him? That certainly wasn't happening again. If you have to say it out loud, then chances are you think it might happen again. Why do you care? We stood in silence. I hoped nobody would walk in on us like Bew. I mean, you said you hoped I'd fail. So why fix the song rather than just tell everyone I stole it? I shuddered at how much danger I put the band in by using someone else's material. The pit in my stomach flared up again. Maybe we should just not use it. There's a thought. We'll just never use Dreamcatcher, even though we've already released it and it's one of it. We just won't play it in concerts anymore. Same reason you sang in the Blackout. He was at the show? He came to the concert just to get to me now? The song I sang in the Blackout was Dreamcatcher. Thoughts of him purposefully turning off the power popped into my mind. It probably wasn't the storm at all. He turned off the power somehow. With the whole venue, that would be difficult. You're still going to crash and burn, though. Who does this guy think he... Seth suddenly pulled a long object from his pocket and I got a premonition of being shivved and left for dead. The security just fucked off, did they? Good. Fucking fantastic. He pulled my arm and I screamed until I left the cold tip of my marker against my skin. I looked down to see him write a phone number right there on my arm. The cap stuck in his mouth. Give me back my arm, jackass. He said nothing, didn't even blink, even though I knew he wasn't going to hurt me. The beating of my chest hadn't slowed. Look, he's talented. Dallas hasn't been wonderfully performing, right? He's just a mercenary for hire. I'm just saying, this guy does good music, right? It's fine. The security guard showed up a second time and, without even asking me, started hauling him away down the hall. He grunted some protest, but I didn't stop them from getting him out of there. That arsehole wrote to me again, like he owned me. He doesn't have a piece of paper. You didn't whip out your phone, did you? After a few brief passive-aggressive phone conversations, Seth and I met up later after he had rewritten Dreamcatcher for the band. I tried to not like the new version, but I did. I liked it a lot, and I hated myself for it. There was something missing from my version. It could have been the perfect song, but something was wrong from the start. It was the pacing and the notes I took out. I don't know what... Well, damn it. He fixed it completely. We need this. No, we didn't. We didn't need one stupid song. We needed lots of songs. Great songs. It seems sketchy. We need you, he didn't reply. You hear me? Not interested. Why not? You obviously want to. You couldn't even contain your music. You had to write it on me. There are girls all over the city with my music on them. I repeated what he just said a couple of times in my head, feeling more disgusted each time he... The less you think about that, the better, Robin. Let's just put it like that. I didn't ask about other girls. He didn't say anything, just messed around on his table grabbing a lighter. Just write for me. If this is some fear of fame bullshit, just do it under another name. Let us play your music. He stuck a cigarette in his mouth in silence. His face didn't even react to my proposition. He thought that was easy. Just admitting that I liked his fucking music. Whatever, I'm out of here. If you're cool with the song now, then you have no reason to talk to me anymore. I gave him an ugly look, but he didn't even turn his head slightly to see. Leave us alone. Hey. Is this what he's doing? He's trying to play the real cool, suave, sophisticated dude. And it's just a dude with a fucking ketchup stain. Well, not even that. I don't even know what that is. He's like spilt Guinness down himself. He's like lighting up a cigarette all sexily. That's right, I can't handle my drink. Like, come on. He stood up and started lighting the fag, actually, dangling out of his mouth. I tapped my foot while he took his sweet time testing my patience. Your keyboard guy. His reference to Bew got my full attention. He won't be able to play it right. Excuse me? He'll play it damn fine. No, he won't. Oh, but you can. Yeah. I straightened my head and my attitude at the same time. Wait, can you? I've been looking for a keyboardist for a long time now, but no one was nearly as good as Bew. Can I hear you play first? No. So wait, what? You can't play your song right, but you won't play it either? Seth moved away. He just turned his back on me. What a jackass. Hopefully he's going to a keyboard. Thanks for your time, hotshot. My band wasn't good enough for his precious, precious music, but go to hell if you call his bluff, right? I swung the door open so I could slam it. Hold on. I felt a pang of optimism. We're not seriously thinking of replacing Bew, are we? I'm the player here. We're not replacing Bew. That's not how that works. He is fucking staying in this band whether you like it or not. I slowly turned around with my hands on my hips. The offer was over. He had to beg for it now. It only took him a few steps to cross the room and tower over me. I stared up at him as he blew smoke out of his nose. At least, I was trying to focus on that and not his eyes. Yours. I looked down and felt him slap something on my chest, a wad of clothing. It was my shirt. Oh. I want mine back. I got angry. I couldn't believe he'd missed something so stupid. So much shit around his room, and it was only one shirt. Oh, come on, look at his shirt. He doesn't own too much, does he? He was supposed to ask to be my keyboardist. And I want to have never have fucked you. Can't all get what we want? I kicked his door and it rammed into the wall behind it so loudly it sounded like it broke. I got the hell out of there and kicked a few more things on my way out. Literally never going to learn anything. Our CD sales are now 7% of the way, which is more than 5. Alright, it's slightly hopeless, isn't it? On yother. I think we've hit another scene. This isn't normal lines. I went to hang out with Bew. We laughed as we ended our last song for the night. He was smiling and naturally and unforced. We were playing a pop ballad that I used to make fun of as a joke. My version was much better anyway. Her arrogance even gets into jokes. That's impressive. Okay, my throat's getting dry. That was the usual side to end the evening. Where's my... He threw it over here. He picked up my jacket from his side of the piano bench. I told you to hang this up when you come in, and I told you to bite me. I slipped on my jacket and he helped me put my arm through the other hole. Try to get some rest tonight. Nah, I won't. See you tomorrow. We gave each other a small peck on the lips. I got up and took several steps away. Wait, what? They did what? Did we? I spun around and saw him quickly shift his eyes somewhere else. Oh my god, we totally did. They just kissed. Wow. Whoa, I'm so sorry. That was nothing. I laughed nervously. Why? I apologize. That should be it. Right. It was an accident. A mistake. A mistake? Yes, it was. We were just so used to pretending that it was, I blame the cheesy pop songs to stuff to your brain, you know. Did we just skip a line? Yeah, it was a mistake. He didn't look at me as if he shuffled his sheet music together. I'd laughed by myself. Yes. I'm just gonna go now. I could feel myself turning red. I expited my arse out of that apartment. Are we gonna get all bundled up now because we didn't know whether it was true or fake? Ooh. How could I let myself just kiss him like that? We were alone, no public, no cameras. It just felt natural, like a married couple or something. But we're not like that. We're just... Rather appropriately, I didn't get any sleep that night. There was a huge pit in my stomach from being embarrassed. There's no reason to be embarrassed, though, right? I mean, we both admitted to it being a fluke. Why am I even thinking about this? It meant nothing, like all the others. Robin, again, with her blatant self-denial. That's definitely not going to happen. We'll leave it another week and then we'll hang out with him again, okay? For now, we need to play more gigs because we don't get to 1,000 popularity by ourselves now, do we? There's another scene after we played gigs that... this is Sunday, actually. Or Saturday. I was about to take a swig of my bottle when I saw a familiar slender body leaning against a back wall in the darkness. My heart skipped a beat. You wouldn't normally have been able to see Seth, but his clothes would basically glow in the dark. I mean, if you don't clean Guinness off your shirt, this will happen. I couldn't believe that he was here. After the big deal I made over him never showing his face, I marched over to him. What the hell are you doing here? I thought we had an agreement. You fix the song, we play it right, and he looked up at me too suddenly. I wasn't prepared for his eyes yet. I'm hoping those are contact lenses and he's not just sent by the devil. And you act like we never met. He's not doing it right. Surprise, surprise. I sighed and crossed my arms. Of course Bew wasn't. It wasn't going to be right until it was him playing. He bounced off the wall and stood straight, lording his height over me. I held my ground. I want to do it. My rigid pose faltered. My arms slipped out into my side. What? You want to play? Well, this was exactly what I wanted. Like, in a band? His lips pressed together, but he said nothing. You want to be in the band? He continued to say nothing, looking away like he couldn't be bothered. Oh, look at him. I want to be in the band. Oh, you prick. You want to be in the band. This man was a writing powerhouse and he wanted to be in the band. I was light-headed all of a sudden. The jerk had finally come around. He was a total belly-up for me. I closed my eyes from the powerful image that popped up in my head. I swayed back to consciousness and told him to follow me. I ran towards the stage where Bew was unwinding after the show. I looked behind me, but Seth hadn't followed me. Instead, he was lighting up a smoke. What the hell was wrong with him? Who's that? Oh, he's your replacement. Pardon? You heard me? He's a keyboardist, and I've heard his shit, and he's good. You can't just be good at this. He's damn good. What do you want me to say? Oh, Robin. Feels bad, man. You said at the start you were temporary. I did. But I have to agree to whether he's a sincere replacement or not. I'm the manager. I'm the producer. Smoke billowed from behind me, and we both looked back to see Seth standing impatiently. You didn't say I had to audition. Damn Bew to hell if he ruined this for us. You don't. Yes, you do. For Christ's sake. Come on! I tugged on Seth's arm to follow me to the keyboards, but not without giving Bew a sidelong look. I gestured to the keyboards, and he helped himself behind them. Bew stood beside me, twitching uncomfortably as Seth touched the buttons and keys. Where on earth did you find this man? If I said we met at KFC and exchanged numbers, would you believe me? No? Then, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. He spoke to me under his breath, but I didn't appreciate his tone. I didn't see anything wrong with Seth, and he barely knew the guy. Did Bew have such a similar reaction for a first time meeting me? Yes. He came free with a 12-pack from the store, frequent shopper points. I'm serious. What do you want me to play? Anything. I need you to show Mr. Piano Key Necktie here what you can do. Seth looked at me blankly and stared at the keyboard. Finally, he fingered some random notes. The notes soon formed a melody, and then another and another. He blazed through several potential hit songs. It was clear he had excellent understanding of music, and it frightened me a little. He stumbled to a halt, and I stood in awe, having never really heard him freestyle. The band was going to get so... no. I was immediately snapped my attention to Bew. He couldn't have looked more disapproving if he tried. Are you crazy? We need this guy! He's too sloppy. The way he rests his wrist is incorrect. He can't play it the same way twice, so he's prone to change songs during performances. His fingernails are too long. He hunches over the board, so he'll have no stage presence and bring nothing to the band. Alright, well, if we're doing that, what about, you know... okay, what about Dallas? Because he is firmly taking the piss. Like, he just shows up even in recordings and gigs and just goes... Sorry, my hand needs to be on screen, otherwise it looks like I'm just cutting bread, doesn't it? You know what? And correct me if I'm wrong, but he is Seth Wyndham, who is a known party boy and failed musician, who would only be poison to every band he touched. He wasn't even speaking so that Seth could hear him. I don't need this. It only took a small push to knock over Bew's keyboard stand, causing the electronics to fall to the ground. Hey! He hopped off stage, that dickweed just up and left. My breathing quickened as I watched Seth leave. This was his fault. I spun around to Bew. You! The fuck is your problem? I'm not sure this is Bew's fault. He did just... This guy almost has as bad a temper as Robin. Wow! His swiftness to glower at me was... Glower? I don't know. To prove at me that he wanted to be doing it all along, so that's how it was then. I bet he wouldn't have mattered if I brought fucking Beethoven in front of him. Probably not. I have no idea what you're talking about. He really put himself on the line by coming here. He's trying to impress you. It's a fucking miracle he even agreed to work with us in the first place. You've ruined everything with that smart mouth of yours, ruined or saved. You have a broken keyboard, so I'm, I guess, ruined. I kicked at the board on the floor before hopping off the stage in pursuit of Seth. Let him go, Robin. I ignored him, just more commands of his telling me what to do. I was able to catch up to Seth before he completely disappeared. Stop right there, you set-wrecking bastard! Oh, that's right. Fucking convince him into coming. But Seth didn't stop. I had to run directly into him and pull at his clothes to physically yank him to a halt. And he let me, which was something I wasn't used to or expecting. He jostled under my grip as I shook him. You arsehole, forget Bew. I'll talk to him. You got it. Him or me. He had suddenly leaned over me. It was only when I felt the heat of his breath that I realized I was still grabbing desperately to his clothes, and even then I didn't let him go. I started to question him, but I had already made up my mind. I could almost feel the beast of his musical prowess purring from within his chest. Well, of course you. I have never had a muse in my entire life, perhaps because I hadn't met him yet. Perhaps he was in my hands right now. I stared hard into Seth's glare, who seemed completely unmoved by my choice. His eyes then shot straight past me. My hold on him loosened when I turned around to see Bew standing not too far behind us. From the look on his face, there was no doubt in my mind that he heard my answers to Seth's ultimatum. Do I have to go back and not play Dreamcatcher in order for this not to happen? We spent so much time on Bew, I'm not kicking him out now. My throat went dry. Why? It wasn't like I was kicking Bew to the curb. He was still the producer. He said so himself. And it wasn't about him being good or bad at piano, because he was good. Bew took a few steps and needed to close the gap between us. I have always played with superiority. He spoke with injury, but I heard Seth scoff. There's no place for you in this band. I felt Bew's hand wrap onto my shoulder. What was he doing? I shrugged him off and gave him a look. You decide this on your own? Apparently we can. I bit my tongue briefly to keep from cursing at him. You know, if you want to be in a band so bad, then you just say so. Don't try and play it off like he sucks, because he doesn't. I never once said he wasn't skilled. He's just wrong for the position and for the band. Do you want me to elaborate on why again? No, you're right, I am poison. We both looked over at Seth, snarling at the two of us arguing. Oh, Jesus. But so are you. Excuse me? You're both fucking doomed. I don't want to be in your shit band anyway. I mean, clearly you do, because you fucking, caught up to us 3 times. Shit! I instinctively darted after Seth as he turned to leave. But Bew hooked my shoulder and pulled me into his chest. He pressed me into him so intimately, I wonder who died. My urge to murder Seth began to melt. Bew's hand travelled up my back in the occurring silence. Just as I was about to resist and pull away, he whispered in my ear, "People are watching." I blinked into reality and realised that we had attracted a crowd, paparazzi or fans, I couldn't tell. I could only think about fighting his enveloping arms. Kiss me. Saving face, commanding me all the time, just telling me what to do so his fancy reputation was safe and You were willing to kick him out of the band at a moment's notice! He ducked down towards my face, attempting to kiss me when I didn't. I swiftly turned my face away, but Bew didn't fight for it. In fact, he did nothing. His arm on my back tightened, however. It was barely noticeable, but for some reason I could feel it, even the flutter of his eyelashes from where I was. I felt his chest rise and fall against me, the smell of his cologne, his heartbeat. You had to really concentrate it, but it was there. It was real, and it was inside of him. A heart was all you needed to write music. I wasn't chasing Seth, I was chasing down something else, and Bew? I lied. I whispered it over his shoulder before I could stop myself. The waterfall of emotions after I said it took me completely by surprise. I didn't write that song, Seth did. I felt him take a breath. We? It was so sharp, it didn't matter what it meant or how loud he said it, he was hurt, and for the second time in a row. I was being honest and getting it off my back so I could apologise and say that I just realised how stupid I was acting. But he pulled me off of him and I saw the pain etched in every line of his face. I knew then that I would never get a chance to apologise. What did you just say? I know, okay, I know it's awful, but all this time we've been playing that man's work. And then he was angry. So angry. I've never seen him that angry before, so I was frozen and helpless witnessing it. You let us believe that it was yours and let me praise you, him, his song. You You bring him here. You tell him he has my job. You run after him. Tu le toucher bien tu sois, mes copines. He choked on his own words from suddenly slipping into French, causing him to turn away in the raging frustration I knew he felt. I regretted saying a goddamn thing as I stared wide-eyed at the sight of Bew I'd never seen before. And I couldn't believe what I said to trigger it. You've compromised the entire band. I told you that man was ruinous, and here is your proof. He's not going to do anything. He just wanted you to play it right. Play it right? That's what I said. That's all he cares about. The band's not ruined or anything. It's not, because we're never playing that song again. I wanted to refuse, but that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to play it anymore, and I didn't want Seth showing up anymore. The crowd was taking pictures now. I could feel the flashes sting my eyes, but they were small obstacles to how hard Bew and I were looking at each other. I guess it's over. His glare faded once more. Once he realised what I was saying, there was no use pretending anymore. But his face became overwhelmed with a new type of anger. No, it is not. Secret's out, it's over. Stop touching me and go home. Your fangirls prefer you single anyway. His eyes twitched and I tried very hard to swallow despite my throat feeling like sandpaper. And you like being groped at bars? My strength fled me. His eyes bore into me and I stared at him as he spoke to me in his low voice. I saw the way they treated you, like a piece of meat. I darted between his brown eyes. I didn't want to go back to that. But didn't need him for that. No, I'd be perfectly fine without him, but I wasn't saying that. The same thing that kept me from speaking was the same thing that kept me from telling Bew how I got that song. He whispered his last offer for protection. Kiss me. Heir to one of the most successful businesses in the world, and he was trying to protect me now. This obnoxiously loud, greedy little girl with a poor taste in clothes. I reached out and grabbed him by the shoulders, yanking him down towards me quickly. His lips crashed against mine with no resistance. The intensity of it stunned me. Ice grew in my veins, and not even the crowd watching us seemed to exist. That was new. His mouth tilted my head upwards just before he broke away. My vision returned shortly thereafter. He didn't say anything to me from then on. He just took me by the hand and led me out past the crowd that gawked openly at us. I ignored them as easily as he did. That was a powerful scene that got to me a little bit. Time to end the episode before I gush out about how amazing that was.